All right, so we're getting a chance today to put in the very first WHD14 Plus radio from Soundstream. This guy has a 2022 Road Glide, didn't like the stock system in it. It's got a different brand of amps and speakers. We're gonna start off with this head unit and then we'll probably get him into some other stuff a little bit later on, so stay tuned for the install. You won't wanna miss this. All right, so right now I'm gonna take the fairing off of the bike. We've done this a whole bunch of times in other videos. Check out some of our other videos for all the step-by-step processes for removing the fairing on your motorcycle. All right, we got the fairing off. Now it's time to get this OEM GTS radio out. We're gonna put the new WHD14 Plus radio in. We're gonna start off with removing the little bracket that the wind vent attaches to. That's where the T25 torques. Now we're gonna remove the radio plug. You do have to push down on this little detent first, and then this rocker switch rocks right over. And this connector comes right off. Now we're going to disconnect the USB. And then I found it's best that if I take this radio 4 bolts out and I flip it over, I can get to the pins better onto these other 2 connectors that go onto the radio. Grab my little baby Ugga Dugga machine. Now I simply just take the radio, flip it upside down, and I can get to the connectors far easier by doing it this way. And that's all there is to it on getting the old radio out. All right, so the next step, we're going to install our microphone so that you can have Bluetooth calling while you're riding down the road. I actually removed this entire clip off of the microphone, that way it installs easier. First step is I'm going to turn this ignition switch all the way counterclockwise till it stops. Push down on the bezel, lift up on the little U-shaped clip, slide it right out. This little clip, especially on aftermarket chrome pieces, is really easy to break, so you want to make sure you remove all the pressure of this and keep sliding forward as you're removing it, because you don't want to break that. Next, remove 2 T25 screws from the side of the gauge bezel. Now for working around the gas tank, I'm going to go ahead and put a tank cover on. Now I can take this gauge bezel and just slide it right off and over to the side. So now I'm going to take the microphone and start routing it up to the front of the fairing. I'll slide it through here. I'll be able to feel it come out the bottom. Okay, so now that I've routed the wire all the way through, I'm going to stick this microphone on the rider side with a zip tie. Facing the rider. I'm going to go ahead and place it as close as I can to the gauge so it's not visible. And then I do my best to hide the zip tie as well. I like flush cut dikes, that way I don't have a razor sharp zip tie when I'm done. Now I can put the bezel back onto the bike. Start with my 2 T25 screws, 1 on each side. Be careful not to over tighten this because you're just going into plastic. Now I can put my horseshoe back on. Again, make sure you're pushing down on this because we don't want to break that little clip. Now I'm going to feed the remaining part of this wire for the microphone up into the fairing. In the interest of time and ease and not having to pull the headlight out, I'm going to take the microphone wire and wrap it around a long zip tie. So I can just fish this right up through. Now with the handlebars turned and my fish tape, I can just run the wire right up through this opening. All right, since it was already an amplifier in this bike, I found it necessary to go ahead and remove the headlight to go ahead and pull our wire through for our microphone. Now we're going to go ahead and install our radio. First, we're going to get our little rubber spacers, pop them down into these holes. Then I just hold on to them and run them down. Okay, the WHD14 Plus also comes with a GPS antenna. That way, if your phone loses signal, the radio can take over while you're out on the road. And we're going to come back and we're going to zip tie all this up next to the factory harness. Okay, and now we're going to install the WHD14 Plus radio. It sits right in there the way the stock radio did. We'll grab our 4 bolts, get them all started. Don't tighten anything yet. Then tighten them all up with our baby Ugga Dugga. All right, first, since it's on the bottom, I'm going to connect our GPS antenna. Then our USB cord. Make sure you hear that click. And then the factory AM/FM antenna. So your radio is going to come with a harness supplied, and with that, it's also going to come with the HCM module. We're going to plug this module in on both sides. Make sure you hear that little clip snap. It's going to look just like that. All right, so it's going to get a little tight because the amplifier that's in here already has a T-harness. So we're going to put our connector on, lock it down, do the same thing up here at the radio. Don't forget your microphone wire. I like to try and route things out of the way as much as possible. So we'll take the slack out of it. Make sure you leave enough slack up by the handlebars so that the handlebars can turn so you're not getting any interference or maybe pulling or chafing a wire. That plugs right into the 3.5mm jack on the back of the radio. Then we'll bundle up all this wiring, we'll get rid of the excess from the antenna, and we'll start putting the rest of this bike together. Now we'll go ahead and get rid of the slack on the GPS antenna. And secure it with the backup camera wires over here to the main harness. All right, I'm not going to button the bike up just yet, but we're completed with this install. We've got a few more items to put into this customer's fairing, so I'm just going to show you. Now that we're all done, I'm going to go in and I'm going to set the button colors to match his gauges, things like that. But this really is that simple of an install. All right, now I'm going to show you how to set up your button colors in your radio. Right now they're going to rotate through all the different colors. From here, we're going to go into settings, display settings, touch key color. We're going to turn our auto changing to off. Switch that over to orange. Now the radio lights will match his gauge lights on the bike, and it'll look great when he's riding down the road. All right, the install really was that simple. We got it done in under a half of an hour. So check out the brand new Soundstream WHD14 Plus radio. Check it out at Lifestyle Cycles Online Megastore, where you always get free shipping on anything over $50. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Kevin. I handle all the tech calls here at Lifestyle Cycles.
Whoa, wait! Don't go anywhere until you like and subscribe to make sure you get notified every time we post our how-to videos, our product reviews, and all of our amazing interviews with your favorite racers and industry icons. I'll see you guys next time.